We've decided to document the activity at Torwood Castle. Such is the significance of the data.
If somebody was to ask me, is Torwood Castle haunted, my answer would be...
Every time we come here, we hear footsteps, we hear shuffling, we've heard...
that somebody's standing behind us or brushing past us, especially in the lower levels of the castle.
It was such a common name. It's not to say we don't have other Margarets too.
I've investigated Torwood Castle many times over the years, and I am often asked whether I think the castle is haunted or not. My answer to that would be
Welcome to Torwood Castle, a place shrouded in mystery and haunted by the spirits of its past. In this video we'll delve into the eerie history and investigate the paranormal activities reported here. This ancient stronghold has witnessed centuries of history and untold secrets. Today we'll uncover the stories and seek out the spirits that still linger within its walls. Our journey begins at our paranormal headquarters located in West Weems. From here we travel to Torwood Castle, a site renowned for its historical significance and paranormal activity. Join us as we make our way to this mysterious location. Built in the 16th century, Torwood Castle has seen both grandeur and decay. It served as a noble residence and a military stronghold. But it's the personal tragedies and mysterious spirits that walk these halls.
I mean, this castle historically, there's actually not a lot of information available about it. There's a quite large period of time where there's very little written about the castle. It's quite an important period of time as well, because it's the William Wallace, King Robert the Bruce period. There are lots of suggestions that both met in the castle, different times. I don't mean they met together, but a couple of important meetings were held here.
The history of the castle is really strange. There is not a great deal about it. However, one of the most significant places in Scotland for what has happened in the general area. So we've had the Romans come through there, we've had Pictish Broch that is nearby, we've also had people like William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, and other significant people within the battles such as at Bannockburn who have met in the area or have travelled through this ancient woodland.
There also sometimes seems to be people outside. A few times we felt there's a group of people, possibly even an army. Whether this is going way back to the Roman times or whether it's coming back to sort of the William Wallace times, King Robert the Bruce times, we don't know, but it's not just myself. I've been here a few times and people with mediumistic abilities have picked up an army, almost encampment outside.
The Tappock Broch just further down the road, you know, that presents another unique perspective where we go back to Pictish and connections and, you know, going back hundreds of not thousands of years, and Romans. So there's all of that rich history all coming together to collide and provide a perfect storm of challenge and opportunity for a paranormal research and investigation team to dig in to Torwood Castle.
We've decided to document the activity at Torwood Castle. Such is the significance of the data, the captures that we have coming through, the experiences had by people who go with us, whether it be team members, whether it be members of our subscribers club, whether it be people from TV, it doesn't matter. People having deep, profound experiences with the spirits of Torwood Castle.
If somebody was to ask me, is Torwood Castle haunted? My answer would be absolutely, it is.
Every time we come here, we hear footsteps, we hear shuffling, we've heard whistling, and we've also heard humming. I feel the corridor's very active. They walk up and down. I think mainly they're down the bottom end, but they do come up.
Yeah, I would say the lower level's more active than any other part of the castle I've been in. The corridors particular interest in. There is definitely a lot of activity there. It's like there's somebody moving up and down. There's also a staircase that comes down onto the corridor. Quite often you hear as though somebody's coming down that staircase, but nobody ever appears.
So quite often felt an energy out in the corridor, and that's like a male energy, and they come up. Sometimes I feel that they come in, sometimes they just stay in the doorway.
That happens all the time at Torwood Castle. It's quite often mind-blowing, and we've had devices like the REM pod going off at demand, and we're asking spirit questions, and the REM pod is giving us responses, and we're then saying, can you make the REM pod go off? And it goes off. And then we say, can you switch it on again? And it goes on. That's amazing. You know, that's a real clear sign of spirit interaction.
You get a good picture.
In the late 1990s, a remarkable piece of footage was captured at Torwood Castle, showcasing Gordon, a dedicated individual who was living within the castle's walls and painstakingly working to rebuild it from the inside. The rare clip, uploaded to the YouTube channel Scout the Doggy 2002, reveals Gordon's intimate connection with the castle and its spectral inhabitant.
No electricity, no telephone, dark nights, and telling us they're a ghost. He knows very well.
This brief yet significant snippet is a crucial piece of our investigative puzzle. Before our team embarked on documenting the paranormal activities at Torwood Castle, there was scant information about its hauntings. However, local restorer Gary Grant shared his chilling experience of whispers and unexplained activities, phenomena he tried to overlook as he tirelessly restored the castle, much like Gordon did before him. This valuable footage not only predates the internet era, but also affirms the presence of the castle's ghostly resident, a spirit Gordon was familiar with. But the question remains, who was this ghost that Gordon knew so well? And now with Gordon having sadly passed, it's said that his spirit too visits the castle, keeping a vigilant watch over Torwood and ongoing restoration work carried out by Gary. This newfound evidence offers a compelling foundation for our investigation, revealing the castle's deep-rooted spectral history and the enduring bond between the living and the spirits who cherish Torwood Castle.
We know that Gordon, the previous custodian of the castle, is still active in the environment. His names came through on devices, we've interacted with him. Probably still there, overseeing the work that Gary is now taking forward to keep the castle moving in the right direction through its restoration.
I've investigated Torwood Castle for many years now. I've been there countless times, and some of the strongest evidence that I have ever captured has come from this castle. I've had the name Torwood Castle come through ITC devices. I've had significant figures to the castle come through, their names. I have physically witnessed some of the activity, whether that be footsteps, whether that be environmental meters going off. For example, the REM pod 360-degree field being broken at various points when we ask for it. I've also had things such as the EDI Plus with its graphs showing us some significant environmental captures inside.
You'd have to do something really noticeable for us, just so that we can tell we're not here to cause any harm.
Gordon, are you here?
Slight movement outside the door.
Oh, see, I heard
Yeah, it was outside the door.
Gordon, are you here?
In this video, we will be sharing some live sessions. However, please note that due to the positioning of Torwood Castle and its stonework, the signal may be weak, resulting in varying image quality. We use ITC techniques in these live stream sessions in order to have an archived copy for transparency and analysis of background sounds, false positives, and confirmation bias. This helps to protect the integrity of the evidence we gather for research purposes.
We're looking for triangulation, and triangulation is where we have multiple sources of information and data that can come together to validate an experience. So perhaps we have a historic reference, or we have something which is rooted in history. At the castle, we don't have quite so much of that. We've got bits and pieces of the history, but it's fragmented. We also want to look at eyewitness accounts, so has somebody else experienced something in a particular location? And we also want to use scientific equipment and experimentation, as well as input from spiritual mediums. And where we get those things to cross over, then perhaps we've got something. So if as a medium I say I'm sensing spirit over there, and a second later that sensor associated with that area is activated, then perhaps something has happened.
To be clear, we use a wide array of methodologies in our research and video presentations to find the truth. We do not prejudge techniques based on opinion, personal likes or dislikes. We only use them to gather data and gain answers to these mysteries. No one knows all the answers, which makes the journey that much more intriguing. As always, the words on the screen may vary slightly. With over half a decade of research at this location, some are lost to the time and being re-highlighted. But the keywords such as Torwood, Castle and names are unmistakable.
I keep hearing castle. So who's out in the corridor? Would you like to communicate?
In the shape of me.
And while the intelligent spirits of the castle are quite willing to give us the name of the property and the surrounding area, they unfortunately seem very unwilling to give us any information about the historical past. It seems Torwood Castle has secrets, and even in the afterlife, those who lived there in the past are still keeping them.
Because I'm
Somebody's just come down that spiral staircase there.
Over here. Can you say it again?
Who's the woman that's talking?
Oh, what's that? Oh,
Could you say the name of the place?
I'm trying.
Please.
Oh, it might have been there. And stop there.
Stop. King Forrester, are you here? Oh, there's been a gauntlet here. Are you happy?
So we have been looking through some of the documents here, and we find Margaret Forrester. We actually find Robert Forrester, the first Laird of Torwood, married a Margaret Forrester, and we have the name Margaret coming through and captures, and people who are sensitive to spirit coming out with the name Margaret. She was a significant person in the history of Torwood, connected to the Lairds, the lady, if you like. It was such a common name. It's not to say we don't have other Margarets too, because we do, and this is where it becomes difficult. Who is it? Which Margaret is it we have? But it definitely is a hint.
Up the stairs in the other area, I have sensed and picked up the lady of the house. And sometimes as well, when I've been down in here, I've felt that the ladies come down here as well. But this isn't that lady's domain, she's more upstairs.
I think we're only just at the tip of the iceberg in trying to understand the connections and the history of the castle.
Today I got Sir John.
Okay, Sir John Forrester.
Also a couple of times as well, I think. Today I got Robert, and I think I've had that as well before.
Robert before. So if we can look back the tree and we'll just see if we can find
And see
anybody
if
that's
there's-
associated with Robert.
Hello. I'm sorry. Thank you. Do we have a female spirit with us? Once for yes, twice for no. Yes. Mary's a shoe. Once for yes, twice for no. Thank you. Mary, did we just hear your voice? Once for yes, twice for no.
Usually in this room, I pick up a lady in the kitchen working away, and I get the impression that she's the cook. She's the main cook.
There are two female energies, and I believe one is named Alice, one is named Mary, and perhaps they are responsible for the disembodied female voices that are often heard, especially in the Great Hall area. And we know that there are perhaps two male energies that are more dominant in the lower areas of the castle around the long corridor and the kitchen.
At times Tracy would be in the castle all on her own, with some set-up equipment, whether that be ball indicators, REM pods or audio devices, trying to capture the ambient sounds, trying to capture ambient activity from within Torwood, and the spirits did not let her down.
Hello. Thank you for doing that. Make a noise for me. Thank you. Do you feel safer with me standing back a bit? Yeah. Okay. You still here? Thank you.
When we compile a list of the kind of experiences and interactions that we encounter, cold spots, hot spots, temperature changes, we get all of that. Disembodied voices, we get those. We see shadows, we see movement, we have the overwhelming sense that somebody's standing behind us or brushing past us, especially in the lower levels of the castle where the long corridor and the kitchen area are.
You made the device go off again. I thought it was just for us. Thank you. Thank you. Can you tell us your name?
Fuck and fuck. I'm from America. Can you tell me what castle I'm in? I thought I heard Tor.
I thought I heard that too. Thank you. Who's swearing? You made that machine go off again, if you can come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's a definite yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely something undone. Retell me.
A couple of days ago, somebody sent a message to the someone connected here to the castle. Do you know the name of the woman who sent the message? Can you give me her name?
Oh, nothing's gonna...
Sorry, guys. Sorry. See, what we're seeing in here and what all you guys are not seeing is everything's going off around us.
A couple of days ago, somebody sent a message to the someone connected here to the castle. Do you know the name of the woman who sent the message? Can you give me her name?
Someone named John here who was potentially connected to the army.
We have someone named John here who was potentially connected to the army.
Stop there. There was a thud at the same time, and it'll be on this probably, but definitely on the camera. I'm going to stop there. Somebody is walking out in that corridor. Could you go and check? Somebody is definitely walking about out there because I can hear them.
Maybe it's here with her name Jean. Okay. Do we still have Jean here?
Okay.
Who's in the corridor? Standing at the door.
Go.
Can you tell us who the children were that were seen earlier? The wee boy and the wee girl?
Can you tell us who the children were that were seen earlier? The wee boy and the wee girl?
For me, on a personal note, Torwood Castle is also quite a frustrating property to investigate. I tend to approach investigations from a historical point of view, and there's large sections of the history about Torwood Castle which is quite scarce and difficult to find.
I always say where we have deep history, we also have mystery too, and Torwood Castle is no exception to that. Actually, the history is so deep. Romans, Pictish forts, William Wallace, all these knights who fought at Bannockburn, potentially moving through the area, and then the Forrester clan themselves.
It's one of the most active locations that I've ever investigated, and I've been investigating for a number of years.
I've investigated Torwood Castle many times over the years, and I am often asked whether I think the castle is haunted or not. My answer to that would be a definite yes.
When we pass the spirit, our soul goes into a period of reflection, and we think about the life that we have lived. And in doing so, and during that period of reflection, what we would often do is frequent or visit a location that had meaning to us. Perhaps it's somewhere we've lived, or somewhere we've worked, or somewhere that we've died. And we visit that location to try and understand the lesson. And for many examples of paranormal activity, that lesson might be connected to do with the passing, especially if it's been under tragic circumstances.
There is no doubt that there is activity happening at Torwood Castle. We've seen that, we've got the evidence, we've experienced that, and so have others. But exactly who or how many spirits walk Torwood Castle, the journey is just beginning.